Hey everybody, it's Chris Lote here. In this screencast, I'm going to show you how to do a quick little scene on the Keynote app. I'm using the iPad, but this can also be done on the computer. So I'm going to open up Keynote, and when I open up Keynote, I'm going to tap on Create a Presentation, a brand new one. And you're given all these templates. I'm just going to go with a plain white background. So tap on that. Now, if I'm going to make a visual scene, what I want to do, I want to get rid of these text boxes, so I just tap on it once and tap on delete, and this will get rid of that text box, and do the same for this one. So now I've got a clean white background that I can work with. Now I want to add some images, and up at the top right corner there's a plus sign where I go to tap and add something. I can get some photos or videos from my camera roll, but I want to go into the shapes option, which is right there. And if you notice here, I tapped on the shapes option. Now I've got a bunch of different tabs at the top, and I can scroll through, and you can see there's all kinds of different shapes that they have, and they got hundreds of these. So if I want to go back to let's go back to, I'm going to go nature. I'm going to add a couple of trees. So I'm going to add a couple of trees. So I tap on the tree and maybe make one that's a little closer, and then tap another tree and make one that's a little further away, and let's add one more, make one that's kind of close too. All right, so now I've got a few trees on there. Now, of course, I want to color them. I don't want blue trees. I probably would want green ones. So in order to format something, beside the plus sign, there's a paintbrush, and if I tap on that, that's going to allow me to edit the shapes. So I've selected the shape. Now I can edit that shape, and let's just make it a green tree and make that one green. Maybe I'll go a different color. Maybe I want it a little darker because it's a little further back in the background. It might be a bit darker. If I want to change the color, you'll see where it says fill. I'm going to tap on that, and it'll allow me to go with a little bit of a darker green. And then I tap my last tree over on the side, and I might want that one to be a little bit, maybe a shade darker. So there, I've got some images now that I've added on there. If I want a bit of a background, maybe I want to go into Safari and grab a background that I can throw on here. How do I do that? Well, I have to go into Safari. I got to get out of Keynote. So I tap my home button to get out of Keynote and tap on Safari. I'm going to tap on the plus sign to make a new one, and I'm going to do I'll go spooky background. So search for a spooky background. And of course I'm going to go images. All right, let's see. I'm going to click on, I'm going to go with that one there. So there's a spooky background. I got two options to save this. I can do a long, gentle press, and when I do that, I get this contextual menu popping up, and I want to save the image. I could also copy it. I believe if I copy it, and I go back into Keynote, I can also just simply paste it. And there it is right there. So I'm going to maybe make this a little bit larger. Okay, so it's a square image. It's going to retain its width and height as I move it. But if I wanted to change it, if I wanted to now stretch it sideways, I go up to Image. Or is it Arrange? Oh, it's under Arrange. And you see where it says Constrain Proportions. What that does is it keeps the height and width proportional. If I tap on that, now I can stretch it sideways. Yeah, it looks okay. Okay, so now I've got my spooky scene background here, and I've lost my trees. Where did my trees go? Well, I probably wouldn't want my trees in there. Maybe I will. I'm going to change the color, but still, I've got my trees covered up. So now we're going to talk about layering, and this is also in the arrange section, and you can see that in the very top of this arrange section I've got this little slider that moves my content back and forth. So I've got now 3 different layers, or sorry, 4 different layers in fact. So maybe I want to change the tree, make that a little bit darker. I'm going to go to style, make it a black tree, or maybe a gradient. I can go gradient. I want to go black, starting color and finishing color. There we go. I like that one. And the end color I want green. There we go. So let's change those happy little trees. There we go. A little gradient action maybe. So if I want to maybe add some text on there, I tap on the plus sign. And to add some text, you would go into these shapes and tap on basic. And in basic, there's an option to add a text box. And it drops it in the middle. I'm going to make it large. And spooky scene. Now, if I want to format that, of course, I'm going to tap on the paintbrush. I've selected the text, and you see I've got different options for editing because I have selected my text. And I want to make it larger. Probably want to change the color of the text, maybe to white. There we go. I'll leave it there. So now, if I want to, I can add other things. I can tap on there. I can add, if I wanted to maybe add a photo of myself, I maybe could be in there. So I would, I'm going to use the camera action. I'm just going to do this very quickly. Take a selfie. Let's try that. Okay, let's use that photo. All right, now here's a cool trick in Keynote. I don't want all that background there. It really ruins where I put my photo there. It totally ruins it. So I've selected my photo. I'm going to go to the paintbrush, and on image, I tap on the image tab. There's this thing called Instant Alpha. This will remove the background. So all I do is I select Instant Alpha. You can see I got a little bit of instruction down at the bottom. Drag across the colors to make it transparent. So I'm going to drag across that color to make it transparent. I'm going to do this again. All right, so now I'll zoom back in. I hit done. So now you can see I've lost most of my background, and I can put my head over here. I might want to maybe, and then I'm going to rotate it. I'm going to make myself a bit bigger. 2 fingers on the image, and I twist, and then I'm going to put myself in here, make myself smaller. So I'm popping my head out. And now you can see I am in front of the tree. I want to go behind the tree. So up here I click on arrange, and I'm going to go see where I can, I have to move this slider. So now I'm behind that tree, and I don't know, I can leave it right there. So there you go. You can play around with some things. You can play around with some images, play around with some of the formatting of the layers. You can format the image, take the background out. Lots of different little options in creating a spooky scene on Keynote. Hopefully this has been a useful little video for you and your kids to play around and get creative with Keynote. Thank you.